Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim, and today I wanted to do a little video showing you guys or telling you guys all the books that I have currently on pre-order. I typically in the past haven't done a whole lot of pre-orders because I do like to actually go into the store and buy my books because I am super picky, as I've talked about before, about like just everything being perfect, edges, you know, no dings, and I just feel like when you get books shipped to you, there's just like such a greater possibility that they're going to be damaged. And I've had many a books come to me damaged, and had to like go exchange them at the store or depending on where I got them from. So I will say most of these pre-orders are like special editions because those are the ones I will pre-order because I'm nervous that they will sell out. And there's a few others like just anticipated books, and there's also some like special like small companies that have done like special editions for books that I have pre-ordered. But yeah, I thought this would be fun. I have people ask me sometimes like how I keep up with like editions, because a lot of times they'll be different. Like Barnes & Noble will have an exclusive, Waterstones would have an exclusive, you know, whatever, and they all look different, and how I kind of like keep up with that, how I keep up with knowing when new books are coming out. And I will say there's not really any good way to do it. It's a lot and it's very overwhelming. I will say I view my book obsession as like two different hobbies. And I think kind of a lot of people do this. Like reading is one hobby and then book collecting is another hobby. Like I don't know how many books on these shelves, like I can see multiple already in this in the screen that I have not read, but they're pretty, so I bought them. And then like there's some, like for example right here, this series right here, the third book actually comes out tomorrow. Of the day I'm filming this, comes out July 15th. No, today's it comes out today. I need to go to the store. The third book comes out of this. I haven't read any of these, but I've bought all of them because look at the edges, they're pretty. And the new books, also the new one that came out today, also is pretty. I don't know, I just got on a tangent. Book collecting, okay, is probably one of the most stressful hobbies I've ever had. Because I live in a constant state of FOMO and worrying that I'm not going to get special editions that I really want. And it's ridiculous. I 100% know that. Like it's totally, you know, yeah, it is. But there's just editions that come out that I really, really want. There's been some that I've skipped on that I completely regret. I am having that issue right now because Fairy Loot just started shipping out their Chestnut Springs set, and I skipped on it. I had the opportunity to buy it and I skipped on it, and it's probably one of my biggest regrets currently in my life. My friend got it, she sent me photos, and I'm just like, why did I do that? Why did I not buy it? Why was I being a responsible adult and not spending money? Because I'm so sad, and now I'm like watching Mercari. I'm not gonna do it unless I get a really good deal, and that's like basically in my mind not paying too much over what they were market, and I doubt I'll find that, so I'm not going to do it. But like I can't help but like keep an eye on Mercari. Like if some come, you know, somebody posts them for a reasonable price, I might have to snatch them up. I just keep hoping like another company will do the set, like Afterlight or something like that. But I'm totally getting off point here. Like I'm basically just gonna tell you guys all the books I have pre-ordered, so like you know they're there. So if you want to get them, some of these you can't still pre-order, but a lot of them you can, because most of these I will be obviously showing them on the screen here. Most of these are going to be pretty. So yeah, again, I typically tend to pre-order books that I know are pretty, and are going to be special editions, because you just never know. I think nowadays they're pretty mass produced where they will hit the shelves at the store, but you just never know. The thing is you just never know which one's gonna blow up, because I was stupid and I did not buy the first edition of Fourth Wing when it came out, when it was just at the store on the shelves. You know, anyone and everyone could pick it up and buy it for market value, and I did not get it, and I missed out on it. I know that's a fake, the one you see, fake. Okay. And then, you know, so like there's been some that like I go and I buy right away because they look really pretty, and like I still see them on the shelves like months, even a year after. But then recently there was another one, I have it right here because I just talked about another video. Shield of Sparrows came out with this gorgeous first edition, and you can't find this one anymore. Like you can, like if you find it in the stores, you're finding the last few, because you can't order this anymore. Like it's not available with the pretty edges like on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or Target or anywhere like that, because it sold out, because it was very popular. You just never know. You never know which one is going to be popular and which one's going to sit on the shelves forever. So it's just like you're in this constant state, like, do I get it? Do I not get it? Maybe I'll be there later. Maybe it won't. Like, maybe it's going to blow up. Maybe it's really good. So you kind of have to just kind of go off of feel of like reviews and what you see people talking about. If it is really good, then I'm like, okay, I need to go get that one. And I've also been bit in the ass with that. I went and bought some that were pretty, and I've read them and they weren't good books. So I probably could have skipped on them. I mean, I'm going to keep them on my shelf for something to look pretty while I have space, but they'll definitely be on the chopping block to leave when I start to fill up these shelves. But anyways, it's such a tangent. I don't know. Just yapping. I have a pretty long list here. I think I counted. I think there's 23. And some of them are series. So I broke it down from like where I have them pre-ordered and what day they come out. So like you guys can see here. And if they are still available, you know, go pre-order them as well. I don't know. But I just thought this would be fun. Okay, well, first we'll start with Amazon, what I have pre-ordered from Amazon. So the first two that I feel like I don't know, I thought they went out of stock on Barnes & Noble. That's why I ran to Amazon and I saw they were still in stock there. So I went ahead and pre-ordered them then, because I didn't want to miss out on them, because I was still unsure if I was even going to buy these. And that's the Shepherd King duology. That's going to be One Dark Window, Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. I pre-ordered these from Amazon. They come out on September 23rd. These are already out. Obviously, this is a duology that's out complete. And you can see them here. I have the Barnes & Noble exclusive. They're right here. Of these, and I also have the original paperbacks of this, and those ones are signed. And I was on the fence on if I was going to buy this one, but you're looking at it now, and the edges are just so pretty, and I do like the edges better than the Barnes & Noble edition edges. Here, and these ones, I can't take, they're hard to take out. I'm not going to take them out, but they're literally these two right here. The red and black ones. You can't find these anymore in the store, or online, except resellers. I don't know, like maybe some Barnes & Noble locations might have them, but like I haven't seen them in the store in a long time. But these new ones, I like the edges better. And I was like on the fence, but I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna pre-order them, and then I can see them in person and I'll decide from there. I might sell the Barnes & Noble ones, I don't know, but I have these pre-ordered. I also have the Bridge Kingdom hardback book pre-ordered from Amazon. This comes out on November 4th. This is a series by Danielle L. Jensen. This is I don't really know how many books. I think she's still currently writing this series, or maybe the last book just recently came out or is coming out. I don't even really know how many, but they're starting to, I've seen these paperbacks, and I always really like the paperback covers. I think they're really pretty, and I've almost bought them multiple times, but I'm kind of glad I didn't, because now they're releasing them in these hardbacks. And I don't know if I've said this before on my channel, but I don't know, there's just something about fantasy, my romanticies and fantasies, I like having them in hardback. I don't know why. When it comes to contemporary, I can go either way, hardback or paperback. It doesn't bother me, but I don't know. There's just something about, I like having my romantasy books in hardback. So I'm kind of glad I waited, and now they're putting out these gorgeous editions. I know that all of them will eventually come out. I don't know like what the timeline is on that, but the first one is coming out in November 4th. So I went ahead and pre-ordered that one. And I also pre-ordered People We Meet on Vacation, the deluxe special edition that's coming out on August 19th. Pre-ordered from Amazon. That's by Emily Henry. They are slowly, this is the second one, so they're doing special edition hardcovers for all her books. I'm assuming all her books. I guess I don't have the details, okay? But they came out with Beach Read last year, and now they're doing People We Meet on Vacation, so I'm gonna assume they're gonna do all of them. Thing with Emily Henry's books is like the first few only are out, I think, like when they first released, they were only releasing in paperback, but then she got so big that they would start releasing in hardback first. So it's like I have hardback for Funny Story, Happy Place, and Great Big Beautiful Life, but I didn't have hardbacks for Book Lovers, Beach Read, People We Meet on Vacation. That's it. And now they're starting to do these special edition hardbacks. The Beach Read one is really pretty. The People We Meet on Vacation, I think, is really pretty. They have pretty edges. This is my least favorite Emily Henry book currently. I still haven't read Great Big Beautiful Life, but I still want it because I want the whole set if they come out with all of them. So I do have this one pre-ordered as well. And then the last ones I have pre-ordered for Amazon, which I might change. I might change these to Barnes & Noble. I'm unsure. I might even just try to go pick these up actually in store. But I had to run and pre-order them because I love them so much. And that's the re-release of the Windy City series, which I know you guys are just probably so tired of hearing me talk about, but it's my favorite sports romance series, and Liz Tom 40 just got picked up. Trad published this past year, right before her last book came out, Rewind It Back. So they, here, like the old covers are these beautiful skyline covers, and I have all those for all the books. But of course I had to buy them in the new deluxe. These are the new covers, and you can see here. So these will come, I don't know if maybe I'll have them all on the screen. I don't know. But they're releasing the deluxe editions slowly, one a month, starting with Mile High in October. And the first run are going to have these like pretty like ombre edges. And that's it. Like, first run will have those, and then afterwards they're just gonna have plain normal edges. So I had to run as soon as she announced all that. I had to run and pre-order all these. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them on Amazon. I think a lot of times I just go to Amazon pre-order because Amazon's really easy to like cancel and stuff. I'll like have them on there, and then later on I might change them, especially because like Barnes & Noble have like pre-order sales, which they just did. I did, and some of them I pre-ordered more from Barnes & Noble, and so stuff like that. Or I'll get like gift cards to Barnes & Noble or whatever. So I might change these. But anyways, as of right now, I have them pre-ordered from Amazon, and that's Mile High, which comes out, like I said, they're going to come out one a month. So Mile High comes out October 28th. The Right Move comes out November 25th. Caught Up comes out December 30th, and Play Along comes out January 27th. So I have all those. Okay, that's everything I have pre-ordered from Amazon. Let's move on to Barnes & Noble. What I have pre-ordered from Barnes & Noble. I have, if you didn't know, they just announced, okay, I was talking about earlier how I didn't get the first edition of Fourth Wing and blah, 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 and people have complained that Iron Flame, I don't know. If you guys are, into Fourth Wing, which I feel like a lot of you probably are. Like I told you guys, this is a fake, but this is how the original edges of the first Fourth Wing looks. And then I think because they pushed the production of Iron Flame so like fast after this came out, they just did black edges, which people were disappointed about. And so they just recently announced they are going to be doing what they're calling the Wing and Claw editions of all three of the first books. Now, the Onyx Storm one, I didn't pre-order because it looks exactly the same as the Onyx Storm that just came out this year, and you can still find that out in the wild. But I did pre-order Fourth Wing and Iron Flame because they're gorgeous, and I need every friggin' edition, apparently, of this book. This will now be my 6th copy of Fourth Wing, and I think my 4th copy of Iron Flame. I have a problem. I am well aware. You know, it's not, you know, but it is what it is. But these are both coming out September 30th. So I ran to pre-order these. They said in the post on social media that there will be plenty of these, that we do not have to like worry about them selling out or anything like that. But I'm assuming maybe eventually they might. I don't know. I just think it's safer to pre-order. And again, I just wanted these because they will match more with Onyx Storm. At this point, I mean, I'm this far in at this point with the Imperium series editions. I got the Lilac Libraries, and I'm waiting. Lilac Libraries, when are you gonna release your Onyx Storm? Because I'll have to buy it because I have the first 2. I'm in deep with these. Okay, so I'm going. I mean, I could be in there are so many editions of Fourth Wing out there, like so many. I could have way more, but I feel like I've done an okay job. I don't feel like I've gone too crazy with it. Okay, so both those from Barnes & Noble. I also have this is also a whole saga. I feel like I have stories. We should just like story time for like how I've gotten like burned by publishers, like trad publishing series in the middle, because I don't know how many times I've been burned by that, but this is another one. Quicksilver. I have the new deluxe edition of Quicksilver pre-ordered from Barnes & Noble. This comes out August 19th. And this series burned me because I have the Waterstones exclusive of Quicksilver with the original cover, which I know nobody really likes. I get it. I'm not a big fan of it either, but it has a reversible dust jacket, and I actually like the reversible dust jacket. And way before they announced these new covers, before it got picked up trad, I pre-ordered the Waterstones Brimstone, which is book 2, because I thought it would match the Quicksilver special edition, Waterstone edition. Well, no, because they redesigned these covers, and this is the cover now coming out everywhere for Quicksilver, and then the Brimstone cover is the same everywhere. So it's like I have this random Waterstones Quicksilver edition that's not going to match anything else. So of course, in my mind, my crazy book collecting mind, I couldn't just order Quicksilver with a new cover and just have it go with my other cover, or I couldn't order the Brimstone with the new cover designs and just have it go with my other Quicksilver cover. I had to reorder Quicksilver. So this will be the 3rd copy of Quicksilver I have, because I also have it in paperback. I have the indie cover paperback. I have the Waterstone exclusive of Quicksilver, and I did, like I said, I pre-ordered this one because I needed to match this one, because I've also pre-ordered Brimstone, which is book 2 that comes out later this year. This comes out on November 18th. I just have a problem because I need them to match, which is like, I get it, it's a problem. It's like I have the same problem when it comes to like Fairy Loot, because I have Fairy Loot, right? And like Fairy Loot will do like the first books of series, and then I don't know if they're going to continue and do all the other books in that series. And then I feel like I need to buy the normal covered one too, so that if they don't do the other books in the series, that like I can buy the whole series and have a matching set. And like, I'm not well. Okay, I'm not well. Anyways, and then the last book I have pre-ordered from Barnes & Noble is actually Liz Tomforty's new book that's coming out next March, which is coming out March 3rd. It's untitled at the moment, but we do know that it's going to be Monty's story, so it's going to be a spin-off spin-off book from the Windy City series. If you've read the Windy City series, you should know who Monty is. It's going to be his story. So it doesn't have a title yet. It doesn't have a cover yet. This is just like a stock cover they've put on it. Again, I didn't feel like I needed to pre-order this one. I would probably have been one I would have just like gone to buy, especially because like I hate waiting for them to ship. I would much rather just go in the morning the day they come out, but that's not always feasible for me because I do work. So, you know, I have this one pre-ordered. And that's everything I have pre-ordered from Barnes & Noble. So from there, we'll move over to Waterstones. So if you didn't know, Waterstones is a UK company. Actually, the next two companies I'm going to talk about are UK companies, but they do ship to the United States. And they do tend to have their own exclusive editions, especially Waterstones. Waterstones has a lot of Waterstone exclusive editions, and I have multiple of them so far because, little secret, the UK covers, like 9 times out of 10, are way better than the American covers. Sometimes they're the same, but if they tend to be different, UK covers tend to be way prettier. Their edges are prettier. They're just prettier books. So I have ordered a lot from Waterstones. I've missed out on a lot from Waterstones, which makes me sad, but I did. So these are all Waterstones exclusives. All 4 of these books, you can only get these at Waterstones. That with looking like this with these edges and stuff, because all these have edges. So the first one is Holly by Adeline Grace. This is going to be her like novella from the Belladonna series, which I have you can't see them, but I have the UK covers for the Belladonna series because they are literally gorgeous. They are like bazillion times better than the US covers. I mean, yeah, they just are. So I had to finish the set with the UK cover of Holly. So that comes out on September 30th. I think a lot of these books come out in September. So yes, I have that one pre-ordered. So we'll match that set. So the next one I have pre-ordered from Waterstones is called Direbound by Sable Sorensen. This comes out August 26th. So this one is a little weird. I went ahead and pre-ordered this from Waterstone because of the beautiful edges, and they haven't. It's a little frustrating because for some reason this one comes out in August from Waterstones, but it doesn't come out on the US cover. Doesn't come out until like next year, I think, and they still have yet to show what the US book is going to look like. So it was hard. I didn't know, should I wait to see if the US one looks better than this one? I don't know. I have a little bit of time. It comes out August, so I have a little bit of time to still decide if I want to cancel this one. I'm hoping they would like announce the cover for the US one soon, but I'm unsure. So I just went ahead and pre-ordered this one and hope that it's prettier than the US one if they don't, they don't announce it before then. I don't know. I do feel like Waterstone's exclusives tend to be that exclusives. They do sell out. So I don't know. I feel like if I buy them and I end up like finding one better I like, they have worth. I could sell them. Like they keep their worth. So I don't know. I went ahead and pre-ordered this one from Waterstone because it is really pretty. Have I read this? No. But I've heard good things, and it was just recently. The reason why it's there's new covers is because it was just recently picked up. So that one. And the last one I have pre-ordered from Waterstones is Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. This is the author of the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, the Caravel series. This is her new book, and there's a lot of different editions of this book. But I did think Waterstones was the prettiest. It has edges. It has pretty, like a naked cover, I think, if I'm remembering from memory or in pages. Typically what's going to get me, when I look at these different editions for me, I think obviously cover is really important, but edges is really right there because obviously that's what you see, right? If you're not going to show the spine and you're only going to show the edges on your bookshelf. So if a book has prettier edges, one has prettier edges and one has a prettier cover, I really struggle picking. But for this one, I think overall, this one's just prettier than all the editions from anywhere else. So, okay. Again, like I said, this next company is also a UA company, and I only have one book pre-order from there, and that's Blackwell's. And that is because the book I have pre-ordered there is Wild Reverence from Rebecca Ross, and this comes out September 11. And this one also has a lot of different editions. I think Barnes & Noble has its own exclusive. Waterstones has its own exclusive, but I just thought Blackwell's edges were the best. They're so pretty if you look here. And so yeah, I picked Blackwell's, but they're all pretty, but I just think this one's the best one. But that's all I have from there. And then the rest that I have are like smaller book box companies. And some of these don't even have dates for when I'm going to get them, but I already have these pre-orders. Some I've had pre-ordered for months. And the first one I actually just pre-ordered though, and it's from Probably Smut. Probably Smut is book box subscription that I have, and I pre-ordered their I pre-ordered their Curse Carved in Bone by Daniela Jensen because I have the Fate Inked in Blood already, because it was actually my first book from them when I joined their book box subscription. So I already had that one, so I thought I gotta have the matching set. And I also got their inlays because I have the inlays for Fate Inked in Blood. But this one they just did pre-orders, and I think you can still order this. I think they're doing pre-orders for this, and they actually have re-released the Fate Inked in Blood as well, so you can get both of them together with the page inlays, overlays, or whatever you call them. But obviously I just ordered a Curse Carved in Bone because I already have it, and I think they just said this was set to ship like later this year. No real set date. But I have that. I also have from the Bookish shop, I have the Rose Hill series, the first 3 books that they had available at the time, pre-ordered. Funny story, and this series is the whole reason I signed up for the Bookish box, because I skipped on getting The Wild Love, which is the first book of the series. I had multiple opportunities to get it, and I just didn't, and then I regretted it. This has all happened before I read any Elsie Silver, and I think that's why I skipped it. And then I read Elsie Silver. I haven't read this series yet, but I read the Chestnut Spring series, and I really liked it, so I was like, now I want special editions of her books. And then they released the second 2 books, and they kept selling out before they made it to the public, because I don't tip, if a lot of these book boxes will put their special editions on sale to members first, and they'll give their members a day or whatever, and then they'll release it publicly, to anybody. And these ones just kept not making it to the public, and then they said they were going to do one more run, and I was like, well, I'm going to subscribe so that I can get in on that. And I just haven't canceled yet, which I've been very close to canceling, but today they just announced a book that I'm 100% buying. So I'm glad I still have a subscription. But I know I've complained on on my channel about Fairy Loot before being late to ship, but you know what? Fairy Loot, you're great. I joined the Bookish box in April, and I have yet to receive anything from them. But they keep charging me every month for my monthly book, which means I should be getting a book every month. No, I haven't. I think I finally just got an email today, July 15th, that they are preparing to ship my May box. I think that's what it said. So yeah, I'm just a little bugged by that. But anyways, I have that pre-ordered. They're so freaking pretty. I don't regret it. But again, I think these are just set to ship at some point later this year, and I really have no idea. I also have from Imagine Bookshop the Court of Ravens duet. This is Feathers So Vicious, and what's the second book called? Shadow So Cruel. This is a dark romantasy book I read earlier this year about raven shifters that I really loved. And it's funny because I literally think like the week after I finished it, they announced this special edition, and I was like, okay, yes, I'm buying that. So I also have no idea when this is going to be shipping to me. I'm hoping at some point this year. I don't know why I want to say September, but I could just be making that up in my head. And then the last book I have pre-ordered, which is another one I kind of not regret getting this because I wanted this, but I regret not getting all 3 books, is Howl's Moving Castle, and I have this pre-ordered from Fairy Loot. I also have no idea when this is shipping. I think sometime this year, at some point this year. I don't know if I've never read the Howl's Moving Castle books. There's 3 books. I think they're like kids books. They're like young adult, like not young adult. What do they call under that? They're for younger audience. But I've heard good things about them, and I have them. But I saw this special edition of Howl's Moving Castle, and it's so freaking gorgeous. They had all 3 books, but I just picked to get Howl's Moving Castle because it's my favorite Studio Ghibli movie ever, and I know that I've heard the books are pretty different from the movie, but I don't know. I had to have it. I don't know. You guys see, I have a Calcifer tattoo. Okay, I love Howl's Moving Castle, so I had to get the special edition because it's freaking gorgeous. This was the second run they did of these. I thought they did them and I missed them, and then they re-released, and I was like, I gotta at least get Howl's Moving Castle. But part of me is like, should I have just got the trilogy? Maybe. I don't know. It's okay. This one I think is more for me as just like, a centerpiece, a showpiece, like, if you will. I will probably have it like displayed. It's not going to be like in the shelf. It's going to be where you can see it because it's so freaking gorgeous. And like I said, I love Howl's Moving Castle. I understand the book is different than the movie, but still, I love it. It is so good. I was sitting and thinking after I filmed this, I was like, wait, because when we were talking about Dyer Brown, I remember there was another book I was waiting on to see, like the US cover versus the UK cover, and I was like, which one was it? And I was like, didn't I pre-order it? It's not on, but like none of the ones on my list that I had in front of me like rang that bell. And then I was sitting there, I was like, I totally skipped a book. Look at post video me. I always feel like I come on with my glasses because technically I'm supposed to wear my glasses all the time, but I take them off when I film videos because you could see the bad glare from my window. Anyways, I don't even know why you need to know that. I remembered I had one more pre-ordered from Waterstone, and that's Metal Slinger, and it doesn't come out until next year. So I think, or was it September? UK does their dates opposite, and sometimes I look at it and I write it down wrong. I have April 9th on here, but it might be September 4th. One of those 2 dates. I don't know. I'll put the real date here somewhere. I'll look it up again when I'm editing this. This is by Rachel Schneider. I read this book earlier this year and I did enjoy it. I will continue the series, but this was another one I was waiting on because the UK had the cover on the UK is the same as the indie cover, but the edges are so pretty. And they've had it up for a while, and I was waiting for the US, and the US did actually recently announce their cover, and I do think the cover is really pretty. Like the colors, I really like the colors. It's not like super different, but the colors are pretty and bright, but I like the edges. Actually, I can't even, the US, I don't even know if the US one has edges. Anyways, I liked the UK one better. So I also have this one pre-ordered from Waterstone. I'm going to stick this little edit in there somewhere so you guys can see this. So that's all the books I have currently pre-ordered. Like I said, I just thought this would be fun to kind of just show what I have coming. There's so many books that I could could be pre-ordered for me. Like, there's so many books that I definitely could pre-order that I'm excited about, that I know I'm going to want to get. Like I said, I do typically like to actually go and pick out my books at the store because I want them to look perfect. And obviously if they're books that I can, that are not like special editions or anything like that, I know will just be there when I go, I like to wait. But yeah, I don't know. I've had like some people tell me I should do like a a video on like, again, like how I kind of track this stuff. I was kind of talking about in the beginning. Like I said, it's really hard. You just never know. It's a lot of Instagram. I follow a lot. That's would be my tip. Follow your favorite authors, follow their publishing companies, follow all the book box Instagrams, Fairy Loot, Owlcrate, Illumicrate, Afterlight, Probably Smut, any of the ones where you see like a book that you liked, that, you know, follow all of them, because like they do books obviously that aren't for their, like, that aren't part of their subscriptions that you can just buy. Like, again, I said it does help to be a member because you get priority in buying them, but I think most of the time the stuff does end up going to the public. Now you might have to like set your alarm and be right there and get it right away, but you have a chance. But that's like my best tip. Just like follow all those people on social media. Usually that's how I know these special editions are coming out, or these, you know. Or I also do spend a lot of time just browsing if I know books are coming out, or if I'm bored, I'll just go on Waterstone and I'll look at their exclusives that are coming out. I actually did it the other day, which was very dangerous for my big account because I did do a pretty large order. But yeah, that's kind of just how I keep up with it. I now know, since I do know UK has different covers a lot of the times, and I tend to like their covers better. Whenever I hear about a new book coming out that I think I'm going to be interested in buying, I definitely look at both places. I look at Barnes & Noble for see if they have exclusives, see if they have anything special. I'll look at Waterstones, Blackwell's, see what theirs looks like, and then I can make my decision from there where I want to buy it from. But yeah, that's pretty much the only tips I have. So just like follow everyone you possibly can that you think you might be interested in. I do it on Instagram. I think it is the best place for something like this because it's, you know, they post the photos and then we know, you could see them and then, you know, and then like a lot of them, you know, will like hype up when they're going to release their new covers and things like that. So that's really the only like tips or recommendations I have on keeping up with all of this. It's a lot. I'm not gonna lie. There's been a few that have like I see them later and I'm like, how did I miss this? Like, so it's kind of like a lot to keep up with, but, I don't know, if book buying is your hobby, that's how I recommend. Because like I said, I do think book buying and reading the books are very different hobbies, and I love both, but, I support book buying as a hobby as well. You know, then we could just have these pretty shelves. They're so pretty to look at. I never get tired of looking at my shelves. I literally never get tired of looking at them. I will say, I think I'm going to do a rehaul soon though. I kind of move some around, give you guys some new books to look at during my videos. But I don't know. Hopefully you guys like this. Just a little bit of a different video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you have pre-ordered down in the comments, what books you're excited that are coming out. Are there any that I'm missing, or any special editions that you know about that I did not have on my list that are coming out that you think I would like? Let me know about those for sure, because I don't want to miss any. But yeah, let me know down in the comments, and if you like this, I would love it if you liked, commented, and subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one.